Hello, beautiful soul. Welcome to Infinite Manifestations. Spiritual masters have detailed routes and activities that people might follow to gain health, happiness, and peace of mind since ancient times. Recent study indicates that any type of spiritual practice may enhance one's prognosis for recovering from a major disease. Rather than subscribing to a predetermined religious dogma, many of these paths to spirituality include learning to calm the mind. Among these contemplative traditions are the mystic branches of Buddhism, Hinduism, and Christianity, as well as Kabbalistic Judaism, Sufism, and others. The subtext of these teachings is that when one learns to calm his or her mind, one is likely to have psychic-like experiences or sensations. However, we are taught not to become tied to these psychic powers, since they are only occurrences that serve as roadblocks on the way to enlightenment. In this video, I will describe the laboratory evidence for some of these remarkable phenomena, and their implications for science, mental health, and peace of mind. In this video, we will focus on clairaudience or signs you are clairaudient. Does it ever seem like you hear people talking, but no one is around? Do you hear sounds that others can't? Are you picking up more of what is happening in the world surrounding you than most people? Have you been asking yourself whether or not you might be clairaudient? Hearing noises when nobody is around can be disturbing. However, this may be a sign of clairaudience. If you have this signs, you are clairaudient, or at least there might be a chance to develop your clairaudience and psychic abilities. A clairaudient hears messages from spirit guides, angels, or the dead, receiving assistance from the spirit world. Now, what is clairaudience? The capacity to hear psychic information is known as clairaudience. These might be external, originating from somewhere outside your brain, or internal, a voice in your head. This is one of several psychic abilities in the clair category. Clairvoyance, the capacity to receive messages in the form of symbols and images, and clairsentience, the ability to experience feelings or emotions that give advice, are two further examples. Audient powers also vary significantly. They might involve hearing familiar voices, such as those of a deceased loved one, or even noises that do not sound human at all. It may also involve dialogues that occur while sleeping. The fact that these communications have a purpose is a clear indicator of great skill. They offer assistance in times of difficulty. What are the signs if you have clairaudience? Clairaudience signs vary according to the individual receiving them and the sort of spirit guides working with them. However, there are a few typical indicators that you have this power. You're hearing voices. Hearing internal or external voices from guides is one of the primary indicators that you have this capability. When no one is present, you hear footsteps or other noises. Not everyone with these abilities can hear spoken words. They might instead be hearing other noises from a spirit that act as symbols. If you don't have tinnitus, you will have ringing in your ears. Hearing this ringing, like hearing other noises, might signify that a guide or spirit is around and desires to speak with you. You have discussions with yourself. This is not the same as speaking aloud. Instead, it entails dialogues in which you receive unexpected or unanticipated responses, even if they occur inside. You had a fictitious pal. If you chatted to an imaginary friend as a youngster, this might be an early sign of clairaudience. This companion may have been a spirit guide manifesting himself in a way that made sense to you. Messages or visions appear to you. Clairaudience and clairvoyance are frequently associated. If you hear internal or external noises and also receive symbols, it might be a psychic force linking you to a soul. Inspiration and imagination strike you suddenly and unexpectedly. You may have clairaudience if you are frequently inspired out of the blue, with thoughts coming into your brain as if someone stated them aloud. You are extremely sensitive. Though not sufficient to assess if you have psychic talents, clairaudience have an extraordinary capacity to sense other people's emotions. You daydream a lot. Daydreaming is common. But clairaudience describe hearing internal or external voices or having dialogues in their dreams. Another clue of clairaudience is your preferred way of learning. Many clairaudient people learn best through the auditory channel, like listening to an audiobook instead of reading the book. Clairaudience may be both a blessing and a curse, and some people fear it as a curse. Hearing voices may be frightening, especially when you're alone at night and you're not expecting it. Aside from that, clairaudience frequently struggle to manage loud situations and the noise pollution of modern living. Some persons with the ability of clairaudience believe they are experiencing a psychotic episode. However, there is a significant distinction between possessing the gift of clairaudience and experiencing a psychotic episode. The latter entails leaving reality behind and entering another plane of awareness. When you have a clairaudience experience, this is not the case. This encounter just informs your present degree of consciousness. The most common piece of advice offered to clairaudient folks is to accept their talent. Once you have done so, you will recognize its worth and may even look forward to your next adventure. The crucial distinction between a sign of clairaudience and mental illness is how much anguish these signals cause you and how much control you have over them. If you are suffering anxiety or disorientation as a result of the noises you are hearing, please visit a licensed professional like a doctor or a therapist as soon as possible. This is especially true if the voices are interfering with your social interactions. Clairaudience can manage their interactions with psychic entities, provide feedback, and explain when their assistance is required. If your voices are bothering you, this is one of the first signals that you should get treatment. Clairaudience have a wide spectrum of abilities, depending on their innate and developed talents. Clairaudience, like other types of psychics, function by tapping into your energy. They then listen for answers to your query. The replies they receive take the shape of noises and sounds, creating a one-of-a-kind experience for the asker. Psychics with clairaudience have the unusual capacity to converse with persons in the spirit world. This implies that they may direct the dialogue in ways that other psychics cannot, focusing it on the issues that are most relevant to the asker. Some people have the ability to communicate with loved ones who have passed on. A psychic with clairaudience can link those who need to talk about something with someone else. When making a decision, clairaudience specialists are wonderful counsel to contact. This might be a crisis or a turning point in your life. Their relationship with their guides might assist you in determining the best course to pursue. Similarly, when you need to know about unseen things impacting your current circumstances, these psychics are a fantastic alternative. We all have blind spots that impact how we conduct our lives. Contacting a psychic advisor might help bring these difficulties to light. Clairaudient teachings can arrive in a variety of formats. Because these signals differ from your inner voice, you must become aware of them in order to use the information effectively. The majority of clairaudience signals are quiet and frequently sound like an internal dialogue. However, the voice of clairaudience is the voice of our spirit, which leads and informs us. This emanates from somewhere other than the inner guidance. That is why you must cultivate your intuitive ability in order to distinguish between inner direction and clairaudient sequences. Next, to receiving messages telepathically through your own voice, you can also receive messages through spirit voices. In some cases, these voices are from friends, relatives, or acquaintances who passed away and will sound like they did while they were living. Messages can also be heard as sounds, such as hearing your name while no one is nearby, or hearing noises, such as chatting, radio, or whispers. If you can't identify the physical source of the noise, it's quite likely that it's spirit-generated speech. You can hear clairaudient messages out loud in times of hardship. There is ringing or screaming. When you receive such a message, don't be afraid to listen to it. You'll be grateful afterwards. To have an experience with clairaudience, you do not have to be born with it. You may build and increase your clairaudience talents by following your heavenly direction and putting in a lot of practice time. Consider tuning an instrument. You may educate your hearing to identify minor differences in tones by becoming aware of what to listen for. If you want to develop your clairaudience skills, here are a couple exercises. The easiest way to develop your clairaudience skills is to practice sensitizing your physical hearing. Close your eyes and carefully listen into sounds you ordinarily ignore: leaves rustling, birds singing, people conversing, your own breathing, and so on. Try to separate each one and concentrate on it for a few seconds. I do this almost on a daily basis while going for a walk. This may be difficult at first, but as you practice, your hearing range will expand and you will be able to pick up noises from the spirit realm more easily. Asking higher spirits for an audio message is another approach to strengthen your clairaudient talents. Do you have a burning question in your life? Concentrate on this single question and seek advice. Messages from the higher spirits can be obtained through a conversation, song lyrics on the radio, or a random sound. Clairaudience is associated with your fifth chakra, also known as the throat chakra. This chakra is the center of communication and purification. Balancing this chakra might assist you in reconnecting with your actual nature and clairaudience. This can be accomplished by singing or tone. Experiment with producing loud and gentle, high and low noises. You may also balance your fifth chakra using crystals and gemstones. Some examples are lapis lazuli, aquamarine, turquoise, and blue tourmaline. And the last exercise is, of course, meditation. You must begin with meditation if you wish to increase any psychic skills. Thus, you may do this practice to strengthen your clairvoyance, clairsentience, and so on. There are many guided meditations available online these days. Attempt meditation with music, spoken meditations, and pure silence to see which method you like, and then try to include a meditation period into your regular schedule. I hope I can share my own meditations for you guys in the near future. As previously said, clairaudience may be both amazing and challenging. It might be frightening to hear voices, especially late at night when you are alone. If you have any doubts about your clairaudience abilities, such as a persistent ringing in your ear or hearing voices that are harmful or bad, apply your common sense. If it doesn't seem right, consult a doctor, as terrifying clairaudient experiences shouldn't happen too often. Spirit guidance will be offered with love, and most people see clairaudience as beneficial, valuable, and enjoyable. So, don't be scared to hone your abilities. They may bring you a lot of joy and knowledge. I'd love to hear from you when your clairaudient powers have advanced and you're hearing fresh messages or noises from the universe. Please leave a comment here to share your experience with the rest of our community. I happily wait for your confirmation. Be open to receive, and I hope to see you in my future. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe.